Hallo zusammen. Ich kann es nicht glauben. Es ist tatsächlich soweit. Eigentlich wären wir jetzt alle gemeinsam in Berlin. Und jetzt sind wir hier. Das digitale Festival Latitude ist ein Experiment für alle Beteiligten und wir sind sehr aufgeregt und sehr gespannt. Tatsächlich sind wir nun live und vernetzt mit Menschen aus sehr vielen verschiedenen Ländern. Verzeihen Sie also, wenn ich ab jetzt auf Englisch moderiere. Auf der Webseite des Festivals finden Sie alle Informationen zur deutsch-englischen Simultanübersetzung auf einem parallelen Kanal. Dear all, welcome. I can't believe it's happening now. In normal times, we would all be together in Berlin. And now we are digital. The digital festival Latitude is an experiment for everyone involved, and we are very excited and very curious. So here we are, live, connected with people from many different countries. My name is Prasanna Uman, and I have the honor to accompany you through the next 3 days in this digital space. A space that may bring us a little bit closer together in times of crisis, which does not mean that we make ourselves comfortable. We want to discuss pressing issues and also argue with you. We want to cherish discomfort and at the same time also share joyful and humorous moments. On behalf of the host and organizer, the Goethe-Institut, I would like to start this festival by thanking around 100 participants who made this event happen. All these artists have agreed to participate despite the digital format. They changed their artistic practice at, I can tell you, a breakneck speed. And I usually work on a proper stage, so this was said to encourage your applause. I hope you do it in your thoughts or perhaps via social media. Please use the channels throughout to place your questions, comments, or even applause. For your information, when we switch to German in some slots, you can watch the simultaneous translation in English on a parallel channel. You can find further information on the festival website. And there's a radio program available. In collaboration with Reboot FM, a radio station for freelance artists, and Radio Network Berlin, the Goethe-Institut is also curating an audio program schedule, which is broadcasting at the same time as we speak live. Looking at the increased numbers of attacks against diverse minorities all over the globe, one could think that decolonization and anti-racism are no longer niche issues for certain groups of interest. But then, if we look towards the murder of a human being of color and the disturbing media coverage in many parts of the world, we cannot deny that there's still a lot to do. Under no circumstances we will take advantage of this dramatic events to set our topics. But we cannot start this festival without mentioning him. George Floyd was real. He was born as a human being and not as a victim. The purpose of this festival concerns questions about power relations, structural and economic inequalities, wrong possessions, and last but not least, the very personal decolonization of each and every one of us. We are really happy and grateful that you are here to share this path with us. And I am now also very happy to announce our Minister of State for International Cultural Policy in the Federal Foreign Office of Germany, Michelle Müntefering. She has, I can promise you, pre-recorded an empowering greeting and a determined vision for us. Film ab für Michelle Müntefering.
Ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, I'm sure you all know Harry Potter. Maybe some of you also remember the Mirror of Erased. For those who don't, here's a small reminder. The magical mirror doesn't reflect the reality. It shows us the hidden desire of our hearts. It shows us what we want to see. Of course, that's quite human, but such a wishful thinking often rather obscures the reality. When it comes to Germany's colonial past, we have long looked into our own mirror. The general narrative told a story of innocence and complacency. Other countries exploited their colonies. Germany was lucky enough to avoid the gravest atrocities. So the official story went, so neat, so wrong. Over the last couple of years, the mirror has cracked. We have come to realize that we have to acknowledge the injustice and crimes we committed. These crimes were always known. August Bebel already spoke in 1894 about the violence and the oppression of colonialism, which often results in the complete extinction of nations. It is all the more incomprehensible that it took so long for us to accept our historical responsibility. Addressing our colonial past is a long way and a bumpy one. It's a process of learning for all of us. Those of you who have witnessed the discussions around the Humboldt Forum, which is currently being built in Berlin, know how difficult it can be to challenge the narrow confines of our Eurocentric perspective. There's no easy way forward. But one thing is clear, we want to go this way together with you. If we retired to our own cozy national ivory tower and eagerly discussed our past among ourselves, nothing would be gained. We would just continue the colonial arrogance of talking about others without asking them what they think. Addressing our past means starting a dialogue with Africa. It means taking one another seriously. And I think we are on a good way. Over the last couple of years, one priority of our joint efforts was to address the question of how to deal with collections from colonial contexts in European museums. We have now adopted framework principles on this important topic, and we have decided to establish a contact point that will function as a joint information platform for non-European partners. Beside the museum talks organized by the Goethe-Institut in many African countries have given us a better understanding of what collections and museums mean to our societies. However, we shouldn't have the illusion that by just giving back objects, we could undo the past and do away with our responsibility. We can't just remake history. Instead, we have to discuss what big impact colonial structures continue to have within African countries and in our relations. And we have to talk about strategies, how these structures can be overcome. This is the topic of Latitude. It will be explored extensively during the next 3 days by an impressive number of contributors from all over the world. Of course, I would have preferred to meet you all in person and have a chat with you over a cup of coffee. But on the bright side, the virtual format has a big advantage. It ensures that many people who couldn't have come to Berlin in person can join and contribute their perspective. I think that's a good consolation for us, having to drink our coffee alone. I would like to thank the Goethe-Institut and all contributors for giving us this opportunity to decentralize and globalize our perspective. I'm really looking forward to all the discussions, performances, radio programs and artistic contributions. Thank you. I'm hoping to see many of you at the Federal Foreign Office in October when we discuss colonialism as a shared history. Ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, when Harry is puzzled about the mirror, Albus Dumbledore explains to him, the happiest man on earth would be able to use the mirror of Erased like a normal mirror, that is, he would look into it and see himself exactly as he is. My wish for the future that we will come once look into the mirror together and see no cliché, no bias, but just us as we are, human beings trying to build a shared future.
Dear Mrs. Müntefering, thank you for this crystal clear words and the touching vision of a common mirror image without stereotypes and attributions. This welcome slot would not be complete if our host did not welcome us as well. Johannes Ebert, the Secretary General of the Goethe-Institut, will speak about the purposes and main topics of the festival in addition to his warm welcome. We have also pre-recorded this statement. Film ab für Johannes Ebert.
Liebe Freundinnen und Freunde des Goethe-Instituts, ich freue mich sehr, Sie in dieser digitalen Weise zum Festival Latitude begrüßen zu dürfen. 3 Tage lang werden wir uns in künstlerischen Beiträgen, in Debatten, in Diskussionen mit der Frage auseinandersetzen, wie koloniale Strukturen bis in die Gegenwart wirken, wie wir damit umgehen und wie wir das gegebenenfalls auch überwinden können. Latitude setzt sich damit auseinander, wie koloniale Strukturen bis in die Gegenwart wirken. Wir haben das Programm in 4 Stränge unterteilt. Zum einen die wirtschaftlichen Ungleichheiten, die daraus entstehen. Zum anderen die Frage, ob sich koloniale Verhältnisse auch im weltweiten Internet perpetuieren. Drittens die Frage nach der Rückgabe von Kulturgut, die in den letzten Monaten so intensiv diskutiert worden ist und wo auch einiges geschehen ist. Und zuletzt das Thema Identität, Erinnerung und Rassismus. Gerade die intensive und kontrovers geführte Debatte um Achille Mbembe in den letzten Monaten zeigt uns, dass diese Themen präsent sind, dass man darüber sprechen muss, dass man auch sich kontrovers darüber austauschen muss, denn das sind Dinge, die noch nicht erledigt sind, mit denen wir uns, um zu einer Verständigung, um zu einem Verständnis zu kommen, auseinandersetzen müssen. Viele Referentinnen und Referenten, Künstlerinnen und Künstler, die bei Latitude mitmachen, haben in den vergangenen Jahren bei Projekten des Goethe-Instituts im Ausland eine Rolle gespielt und mitgewirkt. Es ist also auch ein bisschen ein Festival, das zeigt, wie und wo und mit wem das Goethe-Institut im Ausland arbeitet. Denn wir sehen es als unsere Rolle und unsere Aufgabe im Rahmen des internationalen Kulturaustausches, auch Stimmen aus dem Ausland in Deutschland sichtbar, hörbar und vernehmbar zu machen und so neue Perspektiven zu öffnen, die für ein Land wie Deutschland, das global so eingebettet ist, wichtig sind. Denn wir glauben auch, dass globale Fragen, wichtige globale Fragen wie Erinnerung, wie Nachhaltigkeit, wie Migration sich nur lösen lassen oder sich nur bewältigen lassen, wenn wir gemeinsam darüber nachdenken. Wir haben in den vergangenen Monaten und Jahren uns intensiv mit der Rolle von Museen auf dem afrikanischen Kontinent auseinandergesetzt und spannende Museumsgespräche veranstaltet. In Brasilien haben wir in Salvador de Bahia die Villa Sul, wo auch Süd-Süd-Themen intellektuell und künstlerisch behandelt werden. Im letzten November war ich in Kamerun bei der Veranstaltung The Burden of Memory. Dort haben Künstlerinnen und Künstler aus ehemaligen deutschen Kolonien in Afrika diese Zeit reflektiert mit künstlerischen Werken. Wir haben uns als Goethe-Institut zum Beispiel bei diesem Projekt zurückgenommen und haben die Gestaltung afrikanischen Kuratorinnen überlassen. Denn auch für Institutionen, die internationalen Kulturaustausch arbeiten, ist es wichtig, sich zu hinterfragen, zuzuhören und bisweilen auch die eigene Position kritisch zu reflektieren. Latitude versucht einen Blick aus einer anderen Perspektive und ich glaube, das ist in diesen Zeiten und für uns sehr wichtig. Ich hoffe, Sie verbringen möglichst viel Zeit am Computer und genießen das, was Sie sehen, bekommen neue Erkenntnisse und Erfahrungen. Das würde uns als Goethe-Institut sehr freuen. Vielen Dank.
Dankeschön, Herr Ebert, für dieses sehr herzliche Grußwort. I think regarding your hope for findings and sharing experiences, we can already start with our thumbs up. Check, done. Because very soon you will see the opening panel with three experts who will formulate important impulses and raise uncomfortable questions on all topics of the next days. We have also pre recorded this conversation. That is why I am wearing different clothes. I now don't want to bore you with reading out the program because you can check it out on the internet. Allow me just one suggestion: watch it. It is worth it, with so many perspectives and voices from all over the globe. Here is just a little preview of what you can expect. You can follow discussions about alternative options, and there will be an exciting format called video chain reaction, which is really interesting, as well as colonistics and heartbeats and poetry. I will meet you again live at 15:30 Central European Time. Until then, have fun, stay tuned, safe, and healthy. Bye.